Okay, so our weekly check-in. Let me know in the chat how you guys are doing. Have the previous strategies for cars helped you out? And let me know what you're still struggling on so we can address that. So just type it in the chat what you guys are still struggling with, and I'll try to address that. And please let me know if these strategies are working for you, and if they're not, let me know. We definitely want to know that. And you have to find your own strategy, honestly, for cars. Sometimes not everything works for everyone. So another thing is to take a diagnostic test. You should do this in general just to see where you're at. And if you get lower than 125 on cars, that really means you just need to focus on the reading comprehension skills using third-party passages and go from there. Okay, you think they're helpful? Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm going to go over the strategies for any of the folks that are here for their first time. And if you can just shoot me an email, I will send you the previous strategies that we've been working on in the last 2 sessions.
Sim, I had a quick question. I'm really sorry for asking so many questions.
No worries. What is up?
So just wanted to confirm, is this the link for the GoFundMe?
Yeah, that is. Someone asked for it earlier.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. So our strategies that we talked about last time, so you want to read the first few sentences and decide, are you going to do this passage now, or is this something you're going to skip over and come back to it later? Because all the points are worth the same amount, so you want to definitely spend your time where you can understand the questions and get the most points correct. And then in the passage, you want to preview and skim the questions. And we do this just because, so for every passage, you can actively understand where the questions are going to come from and actively read the passage then. And it also kind of gives you like a 10-second break from just reading the passage, answering questions, reading passage. You know, you can put yourself into that mental set again for a new passage. Because I know sometimes we struggle with focusing, and this can really help you focus on what part of the passage you really need to understand. And the third thing is to read actively. What we mean by that is to, for each paragraph, you kind of want to understand what is the main purpose of this. Why is the author putting that there, and what can we get out of this? And then we talked about writing the bottom line down. So for each paragraph, you kind of want to sum it up and write 1 to 2 words of that paragraph. So you don't want to reread the entire passage when you get a question. You just want to go to that paragraph and understand what and where the question was looking for. And then obviously you approach the questions. So does anyone have a question of these strategies? This was just a brief overview. We've discussed these in details last time, and if anyone missed this, please let me know and email me. I'll drop my email in the chat. And the sessions are just usually 1 hour long. Or you can email me at this email. Okay, and please email me, and then I can give you the previous information that you missed. Okay, so some strategies for attacking the questions. So once you read the question, if you don't understand it, just try to reword the question in your own words. So try to like simplify the question down. And then think of the answer. So before you read the answer choices, it can be good to just predict what the answer might be so you don't get confused and pick a wrong answer choice. Because a lot of the times some of the answer choices will lure you in and make it look really tempting, and you might end up picking a wrong answer choice. And use process of elimination your advantage. You want to definitely actively look at which answer choices are definitely wrong and eliminate them. And that is a great strategy just in general for the MCAT. So if you know this is wrong, it wasn't mentioned in the passage, it is out of scope knowledge, you want to cross it off. And then after that, after all of those strategies, you still, maybe you're down to 2 choices. You want to go back to the passage and look for which is the best evidence for you for that question. So you definitely want to make sure you're addressing that question and not something else. So you want to make sure you understand the question as well. And then if you're reading the passage, read above and below. So that kind of means like you don't want to just read one sentence. You want to kind of get the background information as well. And then you want to choose the best answer to that question. So let me know if you guys have any questions on these strategies, or if you want to talk more about something that you guys are working on with these strategies and it's not working, or what you want to see. So let me know and we'll take a quick breather before we do a practice passage.
I have a question, sorry.
Yeah.
So like some people say like, you know, it's better to read the questions first and then read the questions first, come back to the passage and then go back. But like sometimes like others say like, you know, read the passage first and then read the questions. So like which do you recommend is better?
Yeah, so I personally like to read the questions so I know what the passage is going to talk about. But if you find that this does not work for you, then just don't do it. You don't have to do this. This is just some strategy that can work. And I recommend trying it. And if you find yourself doing well with it, then definitely use it. But if you don't feel like it doesn't work for you, then don't use it.
Thank you.
Yeah, cards is definitely more personal, and it depends on how you read and comprehend stuff. It's really personal. Okay. If no one, does anyone else have any questions before we do the practice passage? And the folks that are dropping the email, is this for the previous information or just to add you to the newsletter? Okay. Okay, great. For previous info, can you guys please email me? It might be easier. I will send a post session email. So just reply to that email and I will send you all of the information then. It will just be easier for everyone that way. Okay, so as you know, we usually do like Khan Academy passages or Jack Weston. What do you guys want to do with me? Which one would you want me to work out? A Jack Weston passage or a Khan Academy? Jack Weston? Okay. Anyone else?
I think Jack Weston.
Okay, great. I will work that out then. So can you guys go to Jack Weston and we're going to do the, oh, you did it. Okay. Well, did anyone else do that too? Okay, well, if you don't mind, Hannah, that's the one we're gonna do because that's the one I looked at today. But for next time, I'll do like an old passage or something. But let me know once you guys are in the passage for, it's called Modern Invention. Okay. Is everyone else there? And then we can start. So you just go to jackweston.com and I think it's the MCAT question of the day passage
Do
called.
we need to pay for anything?
No, it's not. It's just a free website.
Okay.
How is CARS graded? Like, if you don't, do they grade it of how many questions you get right or wrong?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's the same grading. Like it's based on like how everyone kind of does in the percentile. Like if you get a certain percentile correct, you get that many points and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. But like you can look at raw scores, like how many questions you need to get right to like get like what score you want. Okay, so if everyone is here, we can start with this passage and I will work it out with you guys. And the next passage you can do by yourself and then I'll go over it. So, okay, I like to read the questions first, so I'm just going to skim over the questions. So the first question is the assertion that most people like science because of how it enhances their lives, and then it says last paragraph, plays which of the following roles? Okay. And then the author of the passage would be most likely to agree with which of the following ideas. So I don't think we need to highlight anything there. And the author claims that on question of investing in science, governments. So we know we're going to talk about science and governments in this question. So in the passage, I'm going to look out for that. In the second paragraph, the author asserts that ancient Greeks, okay, second paragraph, ancient Greeks, definitely going to look out for that. And then the author suggests that inventions are now more forthcoming than ever because of, okay, inventions are now more forthcoming, okay. Which of the following, if true, most weakens the author's argument? Okay, great. So we know what the questions are about, and then I'm going to go ahead and read the passage.
In your feet, Giselle.
Oh, you should
Whoever,
you should smell her feet when she
do
gets
you
home.
mind muting yourself?
Trust me, your nose is gonna die.
I don't let her put her feet on the couch. I don't let her put her feet on the rug.
Yes, mommy one time forced her to wash her feet.
Giselle, do you mind muting yourself?
We'll take it back first.
You can mute her, I think.
Oh, how do I do that?
Yeah, just mute everyone.
Oh, sorry guys, I'm like so, oh, it's not advanced in technology. Where is that button?
Go to participants and then next to the icon, just click it.
Oh, I see it. Got it. Thank you. Okay, cool. So first paragraph, men have not merely invented modern machines. There have been machines invented since the earliest days, like the wheel, like sailing ships, like the windmill, watermill, okay? But in modern times, men have invented a method of inventing. So I think that's important. They have discovered a method of discovery. Mechanical progress has ceased to be casual and accidental and has become systematic and cumulative. Scientific thinking ensures that discoveries will keep occurring. So that is the first paragraph. What do you guys think is a good summary, 1 to 3 words of this first paragraph? So remember, we just write a quick summary of each paragraph, just in case we need to go back, and that helps us save us time. System of inventing. Okay, great. Inventing system. Okay, although the disposition to scientific thought may be said to have originated in remote antiquity, it was not until the 16th century that it ceased to appear spasmodically and as if by chance. So I'm going to say scientific, oh no, sorry, hold up, mouse, okay. Scientific thought and by chance. The Greeks, oh, okay, now we're at the Greeks. The Greeks had their schools on the shores of blah, 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 and in them some of the conclusions and much of the spirit of scientific inquiry was imaginatively anticipated. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight the Greeks, and scientific inquiry was anticipated, and the Greeks then inspired scientific thought. Okay, that sounds important. Okay, but the organized effort to relate general principles to irreducible and stubborn facts, as Alfred North Whitehead puts it, began about 300 years ago. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the conscious organized effort began about 300 years ago. So what can we summarize here? What was this paragraph kind of saying? So remember, we had a question about Greeks, so this is the paragraph where we would refer back to Greeks. And scientific. Okay, and then the active pursuit of science is a matter then of only a few hundred years. The practical consequences in the form of useful inventions are still more recent, and then we have some examples. So active pursuit of science, only a few hundred years, and then practical consequences are still more recent. And then we have some examples. So like Aaron steam engine and 1764, James Watt. So what is a good summary of this paragraph?
I was kind of thinking, like in the 16th century, it was like more like it was kind of like this is vague. It was more vague. However, this paragraph is more like the active pursuit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say active science is recent. Okay?
Yep.
Good, thank you. It was not until the beginning of the 19th century that invention really got underway and began to transform the structure of civilization. It was not until about 1850 that the importance of invention had impressed the English people, yet they were the first to experience the effects of the mechanical revolution. They had seen the first railway, steamboat, and then we have a bunch of examples. Okay. Okay, so the beginning of the 19th century, beginning of the 19th century, invention really got, transformed civilization. And then we have a bunch of examples, so I'm just gonna highlight that. What is a good summary for this paragraph?
How the civilization got transformed.
Yeah, okay, and then mechanical revolution, that's also a good one. I like that, mechanical revolution. Okay. The public recognition of this way of thinking was at first rather sentimental and gaping. The full realization of the place of science in modern life came slowly, and only in our generation can it be said that political rulers, captains, and leaders have actually begun to appreciate how central is science in our civilization. In turn, these leaders have supported scientific thinking so that these innovations can keep occurring. Okay, this sounds really important. So the public recognition was slow, and then the place of science came slowly, and then now leaders begin to appreciate science in our civilization. And then these leaders support scientific thinking so that innovations can keep occurring. Okay. As you guys can tell, I highlight so that like sometimes you can read the highlight and it's like a shorter paragraph, like the public recognition, rather sentimental and gaping, and place of science came slowly, leaders of thought began to appreciate science in our civilization. So I kind of highlight like that just so if I need to reread the paragraph, I can read just the highlighted parts and it goes a lot faster. But okay, great. Recognition of science. Paragraph 5, recognition of science. Okay. Almost there. In our time, governments have begun to take science seriously and promote research and invention, not only in the art of war, but in the interest of trade, agriculture, and public hygiene. Okay, money has become available in great quantities for scientific work in the universities, and the educational curriculum down to the lowest grades has begun to be reorganized not only in order to train a minority of the population for research and invention, but to train the great majority to understand and use the machines and the processes which are available. This injection of government funding into science has allowed science to create more and better inventions. So what should we highlight in this paragraph? What seems important? I would definitely say governments have begun to take science seriously. They promote research and invention. Money has become available for scientific work. Yeah.
Funding into science.
Yep. And government funding into science has allowed science to create more and better inventions. So what would be a good summary of this paragraph? Definitely like government funding.
Or leader advocacy.
And what was that?
I said leaders advocacy.
Okay. I'm not sure if I heard that correctly, but like, was it leaders? Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, great. Last paragraph. No doubt governments encourage research in order to have powerful weapons which to overawe their neighbors. No doubt the general public approves of science because of the pleasures and conveniences it provides, and no doubt there is an intuitive sense in modern communities that the prospect of survival, both for nations and individuals, are related to their command of scientific knowledge. Nevertheless, whatever the motives which cause men to fund laboratories, the scientific habit of mind will produce not only what they want, but greater and more important discoveries as well. Okay, this is the conclusion. What can we get from the conclusion? So no doubt, so it's definitely saying like no doubt the governments are doing this for power and stuff, and the general public wants it for pleasure, and but still, like, whatever the motive is, the scientific is going to help us get important discoveries for science. So yeah, that's a great, that is a great summary. Irrespective of motives, leads to discovery, whatever it is, yeah. Discoveries. Okay, so do we kind of understand the passage? Was there anything that was confusing a lot? Anything you want me to address before we start the questions? If not, we'll go ahead and look at question 6. I like to do them backwards because we read them and we stopped at question 6, and now we can just go backwards instead of going back all the way to question 1. So which of the following, if true, most weakens the author's argument? Okay. So first of all, decide if the question you're going to do it or not. This question I might skip just because I want to kind of warm up in the questions itself. So I'm probably going to go ahead and skip it and come back to it. So if you skip it, just like flag for review. Okay. The author suggests that inventions are now more forthcoming than ever because of, okay, well, he said inventions are more forthcoming because a lot of people are using them for their own like pleasure and conveniences, and people are understanding it more. So let's think of whatever answer choice is similar to whatever answer choice that we came up with. So is there anything we can eliminate right off the bat? I don't think it was the spread of the British Empire or the ancient Greek innovations, the Greeks were just mentioned really briefly. So definitely we can eliminate those two. Oh, wrong one. And then newly invented machines. So the question is asking why inventions are now more forthcoming. So I would definitely say it's more about the way of thinking rather than the newly invented machines. Does that kind of make sense why the way of thinking has begun to change, why inventions are more important? Is anyone else confused or would have chosen a different answer?
Sim,
Yeah,
I'm really sorry, but could you explain why you didn't choose A?
why I didn't choose A. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the author suggests that inventions are now more forthcoming than ever because of what? So it's asking why now are inventions like more relevant today? So in the passage, the author suggested that now the leaders of thought have actually begun to appreciate how central science is. And then in turn, these leaders have supported scientific thinking so that innovations can keep occurring. And then it says the public recognition was rather sentimental, but now like the place of science in modern life came slowly, but now it's changing, you know? So now governments are taking it more seriously. And it's kind of trying to tell you that the way of thinking before has changed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much.
I
Okay.
just wanted to add,
Yeah.
if you read like the last sentence of the first paragraph, right? So it's like I guess like that's kind of like like the argument of the paper.
Yeah.
So like I mean like, yeah, so it's thinking.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
like this new like something about thinking causes these like discoveries to happen. So
Yeah, so it's saying scientific thinking ensures that discoveries will keep occurring. So definitely whenever you're confused, look back to the passage and find that. It doesn't say like newly invented machines were the reason for an increase in inventions, okay? It doesn't say that in the passage, but it does say like the scientific mentality is why inventions are now changing. Okay. In the second paragraph, the author asserts that ancient Greek. So I'm going to just go back. Want to mute themselves if they're not muted. Okay, I did that. Okay. I'm just going to go back and read the second paragraph real quick. So we are actually Greeks right here. Greeks and scientific inquiry. We said that Greeks were inspiring scientific thought. So the author is talking about them in a positive way. So definitely keep that in mind when we answer the question. So when we go to the answer choices, if something is not positive, we can eliminate that. So the author asserts that the ancient Greeks were not scientists as we understand the term. So that definitely doesn't sound super related to the passage because the author was saying that the Greeks were actually inspiring scientific thought. And were early predecessors of modern scientists. We can keep that answer. That kind of sounds similar to what, you know, Greeks inspiring scientific thought. Okay, did not think in terms of general principles. I don't think the author really mentioned that, and we can assume that from the passage. So that was mentioned by actually a different person. The general principles were Alfred North Whitehead. That is not talking about the Greeks. So that's a different thing. So I'm going to eliminate that. And were known at the time as master educators. I don't think the passage has a clear point where it said it was master educators. It only says that the Greeks had schools, you know? I don't think we can infer from their schools that they were master educators. I think the best choice here would be B, because it's putting Greeks and scientific thought together and saying that we actually got a lot from the Greeks and they inspired scientific thought. Does that make sense to everyone, or was there another answer choice that you would have picked first? If not, we can keep going.
It makes sense. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Perfect. Okay, the author claims that on question of investing in science, governments now are. Okay, great. So when we talked about government funding, paragraph 6, we said governments were taking science seriously. Government funding into science has allowed science to create more and better inventions, and money has become available for scientific work. So it's definitely positive. I think governments are definitely helping science out. So we want to look for something positive. So definitely supportive. We can keep that. They're definitely not opposed to research and not divided. And they're not against it. So I think we kind of, just with elimination, we are able to choose A. Does that make sense? How we were able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And question 2. So the author would most likely agree with which of the following ideas expressed by inventors? So inventors. Okay, would inventors say that without money, inventions cannot be made? I don't think so. Like, inventors are probably going to figure out a way to invent. I don't think the passage really addressed money, like funding. It does say like we need funding has helped accelerate invention, but it doesn't say like it's not possible if there's no funding. Okay, science is the noblest of human pursuits. I don't think the passage really addressed that, so we don't want to bring in outside knowledge. Okay, young civilizations produce the best innovators. We definitely did not talk about young civilizations in the passage. Inventing is not a talent, but a perspective. Okay, I think this is probably the best answer choice because the whole passage was talking about scientific thinking and how that has changed invention. So I definitely think inventing is changing because of the scientific thinking and mindset. So I think that is the best answer. What do you guys think? Would anyone have chosen A instead of D? Yeah, A is extreme. It says cannot be made. So without money, inventions cannot be made. That is definitely really extreme for this passage. Good point. Okay, moving on. The assertion that most people like science because of how it enhances their lives, last paragraph, plays which of the following roles in the passage? I really like how they gave like the last paragraph. Sometimes they don't do that, but here they were being nice. So it's also nice to have our like kind of map out because even if they didn't tell us, we would be able to know which paragraph to go back to. So it's the last paragraph where it's saying, no doubt the general public approves of science because of the pleasures and the conveniences. So why was that there? So that's what the author is asking. Okay, so it is a conclusion supported by the observation that governments want to fund the sciences. We can keep that for now. We did talk about government funding. It establishes that scientists are becoming a kind of celebrity. Yeah, no, we did not talk about that. It is an added motivation that explains why scientists are now well supported. Okay, that goes with the last paragraph and the conclusion, so we can keep that as well. And it explains why governments want to produce powerful weapons. So that is, I don't think that's answering the question. So it's talking about science and how it enhances lives. And this is talking about the government and powerful weapons. So it's not answering the question. So between A and C, which is a better answer choice? So let me know in the chat.
It's just C.
C? Okay, yeah. Anyone else have a suggestion?
It's C.
You think it's C? Okay, great. Yeah, I think C is a better answer because it was definitely saying no doubt, like, no doubt governments encourage research, no doubt the general public approves of science, and it's telling us why now that science is actually helping a lot of people's lives, and that's why people are funding it. But nevertheless, whatever the motives which cause men to fund laboratories, a scientific habit of mind will produce not only what they want, but greater and more important discoveries. So it is definitely, it makes sense why C would be the correct answer. Okay, now we have to go back. Don't forget that we skipped a question. Which of the following, if true, most weakens the author's argument? Okay. So now that we kind of warmed up, we can definitely think more. If this is true, which one would weaken it? So the rate at which we make scientific discoveries is now slowing. Okay, that is interesting because most of the passage talked about how scientific discoveries are actually, we're making more greater and important discoveries. So that's interesting. If that was true, that would weaken it. So let's keep going though. The best funded scientists often have a difficult time finding other scientists to work with. This does not make sense just because it doesn't make sense how this would affect the passage, and because we didn't talk about scientists working with each other. It's kind of assuming, yeah, that's correct. It's kind of assuming that the scientists can't work with each other. So that is kind of out of scope and not related to the passage. So we definitely want something that goes with the passage. So when you do these kind of questions, just keep in mind the bottom line, which was scientific thinking ensures that discoveries will keep occurring. So that was a good point someone made, that this is kind of the bottom line of the passage. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate B. Science is itself a discovery that humans had to make at some point. That could be true, but that's not like helping or weakening. Like, it doesn't help the passage. It's definitely not weakening it. Yeah. Okay, the inventions we make today change our lives less than those we made in the past. Sorry, had to make it too strong. Yeah, that too, but like this doesn't weaken the author's argument. Like if they had to make that discovery, that's fine. It doesn't weaken it though. Okay. The inventions we make today change our lives less than those made in the past. So the passage was saying that the science is going to keep making greater and more important discoveries. So this doesn't really impact the passage. So, and this author did not discuss like that many inventions. Like it didn't compare and contrast if the inventions changed our lives less. It just like let us know that scientific thought has been changing it, but it didn't compare any of those. So A would definitely be the right answer, or the best answer in this case. So if it said that the rate of scientific discoveries is slowing down, when now, all the government is supporting science research, the public is supporting the science, but somehow scientific discovery is slowing down, that would weaken the author's argument. That all of this funding and all of this help is going to science, but science is not making any discovery. Does that make sense, guys? Let me know if you guys had any questions, want to go over anything in the passage. Even discoveries, yeah, so that kind of, the inventions we make today change our lives less than those made in the past. Yeah, so it definitely doesn't like help the author's argument, and it doesn't clearly affect it at all. What questions do you
It
guys?
makes sense.
Okay, makes
Oh,
sense.
sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you so
Anyone
much.
else have any questions on the passage? Any other question you want me to explain again?
I have a non-related like question.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you know if like on the MCAT, like when we're taking this on the computer, do they provide like highlighting tools for us or scratch paper?
Yeah, so whatever you see on here, like the highlighting, that is there, and the scratching out, or what do you call that? Slashing out, that is there as well. Those two things are provided. And this is the exact layout of the MCAT, except you can't type. This is just a Zoom thing. You can't type on there, and they give you a whiteboard and a marker. So that is kind of your scratch board.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Anyone else have any general CARS questions? I don't think we have enough time to go over another passage, unfortunately, but if you guys want to do that passage and on your own and you have any questions, do let me know and I will definitely answer them. Is this how you went through your exam? What do you mean? Like how I just went through the CARS section? Highlighting? Yes. I highlight like that. Yes, I like to, I read really fast. If you guys did not notice, it's just because I've been reading like my whole life. So I'm able to read really fast and I read even faster in my head. But I definitely do read all of it. And it's helped me a lot in CARS just because sometimes the questions take up more time, so you want to get through the passage. I'm not saying, don't read the passage, but definitely understand and skim through the passage, especially if you're a slow reader. Don't get bogged down by any details or anything like that. So just keep reading. And how did I do? Yeah, I will answer that later. No worries. So I would read the questions first and highlight anything I saw there, and then I would go back to the passage and read that passage and then go back to the questions. I think that was just helpful to me. Does anyone else have any other CARS questions? And some people are asking me how I did on the MCAT. On my CARS section, that was actually one of my best sections. I got in the 95th percentile. I was kind of shocked about that because CARS I thought was a lot harder on the real test and I was freaking out, but it's okay. I ended up doing all right. And yeah, does anyone else have any other CARS questions or general MCAT questions?
I have a question about like how does okay so okay. So for the last couple of months, like, I've been prepping. So, like, I just finished the course. So like, what do you recommend? Like, is a good like diagnostic exam uh that can be used?
Like just for the MCAT diagnostic.
Yeah, for them.
Yeah. I would think I wouldn't waste any of your double AMC material on taking a diagnostic, but I think any of the third-party exams are fine. I've heard they're a lot harder though, and I definitely wouldn't base your score off of them that much. So I think just take them for practice and don't worry too much about your score until you start taking the double AMC material, which is probably the best material to see where you actually are in the MCAT.
Okay. And then so how was like how would you compare like the practice passes from the AEMC like with the actual thing?
Are you talking about cars or general?
Like yeah, like overall.
Overall, yeah, I definitely think for overall the double AMC passages are great, and they're definitely the best source out there, and you want to use those at the end. And I think for cars though, the third party passages are not that representative of the double AMC material. And when I switched over, I actually found the double AMC material a lot harder just because the questions are really different. So I would recommend at least saving 1 month or even more to practice cars with the double AMC material so you can understand and get into that mindset. But for other double AMC material, the section bank is really hard, but it's the best because it kind of puts all the hard MCAT questions that you might see and kind of prepares you to think that way. So I think it was really good practice to just do all of it. And I think you can get the online bundle. And I would just recommend doing most of those questions as much as you can do. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
But what do you say? Like Jack Weston is is a pretty good source for cars.
Yeah. So I used Jack Weston and other third-party cars passages that I could find to just get my reading comprehension and test my strategies. Like before, I would use a bunch of strategies. I kind of wanted to figure out what worked for me. Did I want to read the answer questions, or did I not want to? So I kind of tested it out. And then it took me a while to figure out what worked for me. So I would definitely use third-party passages such as Khan Academy and Jack Weston to figure out how to read and how to get your timing down, how to do your strategies for the cars and in general, and then move on to the double AMC because you don't want to waste those passages because there is a limited amount.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, and then a couple more questions. Is the double AMC question bank and materials the best, but the real MCAT would use an exact question from them? No, I don't think they would reuse any of those questions, but they are the best, like representative wise, yeah, for sure. And what are your thoughts on UWorld? I think UWorld is great for practice, and it has questions on every single topic that can show up on the MCAT. So it's definitely a great practice resource. And I definitely learn more from practice than just reading a book, or watching a video. So I spend a lot of UWorld, time on UWorld. And UWorld is actually harder as well. And but that can help you on the MCAT, it might seem easier for you. And we do have a discount with them. So if you want that, let me know and I can send you the form. But I definitely do recommend doing UWorld practice for a lot of the science questions as well because their explanations are really good. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? How soon should we start UWorld and double AMC question banks? Okay, so if you're done with your content review, then I would start UWorld and maybe do it for a month and a half, however long it takes you to get through all the questions. And then definitely 1 month before your exam, start the double AMC material. Yeah, so definitely make a schedule like that. And if you guys need any help making a schedule, you can email us and we can help you out.
Sim?
Yeah.
I heard that there are biology passages and biochem passages and stuff like that. I just wanted to confirm, like, are the passages over there similar to this one, or are they in terms of like a short passage?
Could you repeat your question? I think you were cutting off a little.
Okay, so basically my question was like I heard that there are like biochem passages and like biology passages, and I just want to confirm that the passages, if they are like long like this one, or are they shorter passages?
Oh, okay, yeah. For science, sometimes it really depends. Sometimes the passages are like a paragraph. Like on my MCAT, I had one passage that was literally a paragraph, and I was like, what? But sometimes there aren't, I wouldn't say they're this long, but they do get long because of the experiments and the graphs. So, yeah, they're pretty long too. So you definitely want to practice reading those.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, and yeah, some yeah, guys, please just email me. I'm having trouble keeping up with all the emails, so please just email me at you can either email me at MCAT101questions. Oh shoot, Ugh, the Jack Lesson thing. But here's my email, you know, and then I will put it in the chat too. Because it's kind of hard to keep track with Zoom. I just realized that. So whatever email you feel comfortable emailing at, just do it there. And I will finish up, and yeah, please take, or am I still sharing my screen? Can you guys see this?
No.
Yes.
Yes, Sim. No.
Okay,
No,
great.
yeah.
Yeah. I will send you a post survey. Please fill that out. It helps us know what we can work on, what we can do better to help you guys out. And yeah, that would really help us out. And just a reminder, please donate to our GoFundMe, and that would really help us out and help more students out as well, so we can provide free tutoring and reach even more students. I know that we're all broke and stuff, but it would really help us out if you guys can even donate a small amount, because we're all volunteers. We're trying to help you guys, and we would really appreciate all the help we can get back too. So thank you for coming today. If you don't have any questions, I don't have anything else for you, so let me know.
Thank you so much, Sim.
Yeah, and everyone, if you guys have any questions, please email me. Or if you want to stay and talk right now, I also have time. So yeah, I'm kind of getting confused with all the private messages with emails. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming.
Hi, Sim. I know that I just have a quick question, and I know this is like it's up to me, like it's up to ultimately like my choice, but I'm kind of like confused because I took my diagnostic and I'm in Altius right now, and I took the Altius diagnostic exam, and I know they're a third party, but I've heard that their diagnostic or exams are a little bit easier than the actual MCAT, but I scored a 489 on it, so I don't know if I should keep going. My planned exam is like next year in May, but I'm turning 30 soon, so
Hello. Yeah, you kind of broke out. Not sure if you can hear me, but yeah, I think if you're taking the exam in May, you do have a lot of time, and I'm not sure how much time that is.
sorry.
But yeah, keep going.
Sorry, were you able to hear me? I think I probably cut out.
Yeah, you cut out when you were saying you're turning something, and then I didn't hear the rest of that.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah, so I did really bad on the diagnostic with Altius 489.
Okay. Yeah. So just remember at the end of the day, the third party company like makes their exams harder because they want you to take their prep course and freak out. Honestly, that is totally fine as a diagnostic. And you just need to work on content review first. That's what your first phase should be for maybe if you haven't taken those classes in a while, maybe like spend and if you're working full time, you know, there's a lot of aspects. So just start going
Yeah.
through the books and stuff slowly, maybe spend like 1 to 2 months on those chapters and then slowly incorporate practice problems. And then definitely after that phase, go to like a third party source for practice problems. UWorld again is really good on this because the platform is great and the explanations are fantastic and the graphs
Okay.
and pictures they give you
Uh-huh.
are really great, and you can make flashcards out of those and definitely, you know, get that content review in.
Okay. And how often do you recommend like taking a diagnostic from a third party?
Yeah, start off like once a month and you can see like if you're improving and stuff like that. And I think when you get closer to your exam, maybe like March and April, start doing one every 2 weeks.
Oh, like one of those third party diagnostics, and then the QBanks for UWorld, and then save the AMC for the last month.
Yeah, definitely save the double AMC material for last, but don't, I wouldn't do too much of just one third party, just because their question styles you might get used to. If your exam is like in May, you might get too used to like their questions and have a lot of hard time with transitioning to the double AMC material.
Oh, okay. Okay, so switch it up a bit with different parties.
Yeah, when I was practicing, I would like take 2 Kaplan tests and then like 2 Princeton Institute tests and then like 1 Next Step. I took all of the free ones and basically that was it. And then I took the double AMC material. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much for your kind words and support.
Yeah, no worries. If you still have
I guess I'll
questions,
keep going. Try soon.
yeah. If you still have questions, feel free to email us. Okay. Thank you guys for coming. I'll send you guys an email and look out for that. Bye. Take care.